Hello, welcome to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker, a real estate investor helping you realize your dream of owning a home or investing in one. Today's show is Should I Buy Property in Africa? This is really more for, I'm addressing this to the African diaspora, meaning any person any Black person who is not currently living on the continent of Africa. Many of you know that Ghana has opened up its doors to the diaspora, welcoming many to come back. And even the singer producer Akon is encouraging many African Americans to go back and invest in Ghana. I kind of find that interesting because he is actually from Senegal, and I know that he's working on building a city there. So I was sort of kind of curious as to why he would promote, another country. And I did have the pleasure of meeting him at Web Summit. I have to admit, I am impressed with what I see. I'm impressed from what I heard, not only from him, but there were other people there that were not associated with him. There were people who were African. There were people who were American who lived in Africa who were volunteering over there. And they were praising him for many of the efforts that he's done. For those of you who don't know, Akon has something called Icon, AIKON, which is his cryptocurrency to strengthen the financial situation in Africa. He has some solar powered plants. He has he's improved water irrigation. He's also brought electricity to several of the Western countries there. And he said that he was actually also working on bringing all of those things also over to the eastern part of Africa as well. So I'm really proud. I'm really excited for what he's about to do and what he's already done. But I'm not saying I'm against this. I want you guys to do your own research and not just jump on the bandwagon because of what he's done. Because to be quite honest with you, when I heard that he was doing this, I was like, oh, yes, I'm ready. I want to invest. And I'm still excited about doing it. But I know that there's definitely some research that needs to be done. Okay. My thing with Ghana, that airfare is still too high. Even though they went down on the price, it's still not low enough for your girl. I don't spend that kind of money when I travel. So, and I'm not sure, being that I don't really know anybody out there. I do know someone who is from there, but we're not really like that close or tight enough. Anyway, I'll visit some other African countries. I've already done so, but Ghana is a place I want to go to, definitely. But it's going to take some. We going to have to lower the price on that airfare a little bit. Okay, next is research. Now, personally, myself, and I do encourage other people, if you are considering investing over there, we have something called YouTube, this wonderful platform. Definitely peruse it. Look at all the people who actually not just visited over there, but the people who actually have lived there and moved back, and the people who have lived there and have stayed there. See if you can communicate with those people. Reach out to those people, if you will. I wouldn't say jump in and do business with them. Just get a feel of whether or not you would like it if you were going to be there, if you're going to want to invest in there. Any country you go to, this would apply to, is you want to check out the government, you want to check out businesses, you want to check out housing, you want to know what is the process of buying a house, before you put any money down. I know that there are a lot of people who buy sight unseen. Some people, because it's Akon, they're going to be like, yes, and then they're going to just throw money. Hold your horses just a little bit. He hasn't really presented any deals yet, but when he does, please look at the numbers. Please do your evaluations first before you take any kind of risk. I'm not saying anything negative against him or anybody else. He seems to be a wonderful businessman. I do admire him and everything he's done, but for your own safety, definitely have rule with your brain and not too much with emotion, if you will, is what I'm saying. And note this, there probably will be, and I do predict in the future, that there's going to be a whole lot more business transactions that are going to go, real estate transactions that are going to go on in Africa with Akon and without Akon, that you might find better. So that's basically what I want to say to you regarding that. The other thing is this: when I did a little bit more research in Ghana, the people that they seem to want to bring over are people who are pioneers, people who have somewhat of an entrepreneurial spirit. They are definitely welcoming to people who have medical degrees and engineering degrees as well, because they are short in that particular area. If you have a degree in accounting and law, realize that they do accounting and law different over there. It's not the same as here in the United States. So you may have to get a degree in their school or some sort of certificate in one of the local schools out there, if that is your profession and you wish to practice that over there. The next thing that you should think of, I'm going to give you a number of things that you should think of in my research of Ghana. Their internet is not good everywhere. Infrastructure there still needs to be some work, and healthcare is limited, which to me is very important. As a matter of fact, in Ghana, there's one doctor for every 10,000 people. That's a lot. The population in Ghana is 28.83 million, most of which is young people. That's actually a plus. Unemployment, I've gotten different numbers for it. Some say 2.7, some say 6.7. That's still relatively low, to be quite honest with you, and shockingly, that's pretty good. Ghana is a middle income country. Their main products are gold, cocoa, diamonds, oil, aluminum, fishing, forestry, and energy. They have a lot of natural resources. So it's not a rich country, but it's not a poor country either. I don't even think it's really considered third world anymore, which is pretty good. Its economy grew 7.4%, 2018 till now. It's relatively safe and stable compared to many other West African countries in the area. It's democratic as well. They pay low taxes, And they do have a social security system, which is great. Let's talk about housing now. They don't have a lot of affordable housing, but they do have, when it comes to middle and high income housing, that is on the increase. So they do have a lot of that. Now, the family dynamics, from what I understand, have changed. Not too many have a whole lot of wives as before. Those who have a lot of wives, those tend to be very wealthy men, and of course they'll have a lot of kids. Now those families, they're more into buying a home than renting. But families where it's like the average size, 4 kids, 1 wife, those are the ones that they may rent from you. Now, when it comes to buying property there, it's been mentioned that you should visit the local bank, which is pretty much the same as what you would do here, and get some recommendations as far as lawyers and what have you. You want to talk to the neighbors of, like, once you determine what area you're interested in investing in, talk to the neighbors, find out if there's a flood zone, find out how is sewage handled, how is water handled, because it's not done the same way as it is here in the United States. Many African countries, they have what is called a land authority. And you go there to make sure that whoever says they own the land or own the property actually own it, because unfortunately, there are scams out there as well. When it comes to lawyers, it's been mentioned, try to get one that is definitely registered. The other thing is, it's been mentioned, and I would say this is probably a universal thing. I would not go and buy anything too big from the start. I would start off relatively small or mid-road. See if you like the country, like the neighborhood, like the area, before you go and start expanding. Note that there are fees and taxes to be paid by you, the buyer, before you sign any paperwork. Ensure that both sides are aware of this. Just like the United States, there are mortgage requirements that are very similar to what we have. They want to make sure that you are credit worthy, that you don't have history of bad debts. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw that as far as like if you wanted to get another passport with them, I think your credit is something that they do look at. And if your credit's not good, they don't really seem like they want you in the country anyway. I hate to put it so bluntly, but that's how it seems to be. They also want to make sure you have to show proof of funds, proof of your down payment. They want to make sure that you're able to repay. Now, when it comes to age requirements, this is interesting. You have to be at least 18 years old over there before you buy property, but you can't be older than 65. And the length of the mortgage cannot extend past your 65th birthday, which is a wowzer for me. Like, whoa, didn't know that. So that is definitely different. They also, especially if you are older than 55, they require that you secure a 15-year life insurance policy before you even think about applying for a mortgage. Yeah, that is definitely different than us. Of course, they are going to want proof of identification, which is your passport or your driver's license. They're going to want proof of employment and proof of income. You may have to, if you are self-employed, get a special document from your accountants that, proves that you have a salary. They also want proof of address, and they want, of course, credit history report. So, as you can see, what is required over there is very, very similar to the United States, but then they have certain things that are different as well. Whether or not you should move or you shouldn't move, that's a personal decision. That's totally up to you. I just say, do your due diligence. One of the best ways to do your due diligence is to pick up my book, The Perils of Real Estate Scam Alert, because unfortunately, there are some people who will take advantage of the fact that they know that so many people are coming over and want to come back into the country. There's an automatic assumption that because you are from foreign, that you're rich, especially if you are American, especially if you are from New York or California. There are some people there that are gonna think you are stinking filthy rich, even though you're not. And no amount of telling them will convince them. So you have to be on guard, okay? And as always with real estate, you gotta look at the numbers. And when I say look at the numbers, don't just look at, okay, these are the numbers the way it is right now, and I will make money right now. You got to also put into effect that if anything happens, I'm still going to be able to make money. If I get ripped off, I'm still going to be able to get money. If a pipe bursts, I'm still going to be able to get money. If the roof caves in, I'm still going to be able to get money. Do the math. It's important. And if you don't know how to do math, get somebody else that does know how to do math. Okay? So, folks, that's all I have for you tonight. Hopefully, the information that I've shared will help you make smart financial moves. Remember, feel free to pass this along because each one, reach one, teach one, and sometimes many. Anyway, that's all. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.